What's good, everybody? This is GeekSet Radio. We're back in your ears one more time. Damn, Danny, what did we have? We had hurricanes, technical difficulties. We done had everything fuck up our shit.
The technology gods are pissed off at us. I think it's a coup by Apple sending the geeks at us.
They're out to take us out, dog. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, my name is Judd. I'm chilling. You heard my man already, Danny.
What up, people?
So, you know how we do. We're going to hop into the tech segment. Luckily for us, man, there ain't been shit really going on, so we can...
we can afford to lose like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we can just take this opportunity to shit on Apple again.
Pretty much. I mean, it's funny. Right before we got on, I was reading an article. I mean, and it's not huge, but their stock kind of weakened. Not too much before y'all start flaming me. They're still like at a ridiculous worth of profit, worth of like 499 million or some shit. But there was weakening in their stock. But I mean, let's get into this iPad mini.
Yeah, man. I mean, those of you, I'm sure you guys have already read everything that there is to read about it, so we're not going to rehash all of the specs. But basically, the only thing that's nice about this thing that I feel is the processor.
Really? I mean, I can't, honestly, I'm almost sound like a hater, but I can't find nothing I like about this thing.
I was trying to be nice, man.
I can't find nothing I like about this thing. I mean, if you're already...
I'm saying I personally don't like it, but that's the only silver lining in this, if you want to call it that. It's more like aluminum lining.
True.
Basically, this is just a classic nickel and dime right here. I mean, and they priced it out of... They had the opportunity to make this sell huge, and they fucked it up.
I mean, yeah, because I think people were really expecting this to be, I think even 250, 300, like
that.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to be 299. That would have been... I think that would have been fair. For the specs that it has, 299 would have been fair.
Yeah, and I think across the board, that's what everybody was expecting around there. But they bumped it up $100. And there's no one feature on here that I think makes it say like here we need to charge $100 more for this.
Yeah, now one thing.
One thing. They're charging you $100 more because they made the iPad smaller.
Yeah,
that's basically how I see it. But again, the thing it's been moving units, not as much as previous Apple products, but it's been moving units, and it's something we were all expecting for a long while, especially with the Nexus 7 selling about 1 million. Was it 1 million a month or 1 million a week they were moving?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm over it pretty much. Like, a lot of people were like, ooh, and I don't even see Apple fans really geeked up about this. The only thing that I really see Apple fans from their whole event that they had last month, damn near, shit, it's been a minute. The only thing really that I see people that are hyped up over is the new MacBooks.
The iMacs and the MacBooks.
Them new MacBooks look tough, man, with the fucking Retina display on them.
Yeah, even though you can get a little hoopty for their price, but
yeah, you can.
But they're beautiful. Those are beautiful devices. Those Retina displays. They gave it to the 13-inch pause, which I believe didn't have the Retina display before. They came out with the 13-inch Retina display one, which is something I believe a lot of people wanted and were geeked about.
Yeah. I personally, I'm a big fan of 13-inch laptops. I think it's like perfect to carry around, and it's still big enough to use. So, I mean, if I wasn't such a cheap motherfucker that I am, I would buy one.
Well, not cheap. I mean, the price, the price is pretty high for the average person. I want to say.
Yeah.
It does. You can get a pretty nice another non-Apple nice laptop for that amount. If you shop around right, I want to say you can get 2 mid-spec laptops for that price.
Oh, easily. Because what are they, like 1,600, I think? Maybe somebody out there can correct me.
Yeah, they're like 1,600. And for that much on a Black Friday deal, you can pick up 2 nice HP laptops for that much.
That's Cyber Monday, man.
For real.
And we speaking of Cyber Monday, we want to apologize to everybody. Dan and I have been going through a bunch of shit, like I said in the intro, so we hadn't gotten a chance to do our Black Friday preview show like he and I were talking about. But we got some good stuff coming up for y'all for the holidays. So
You guys need to be on Amazon. They had some nice deals. I was fucking mad. I missed the deal yesterday. 64 gig flash drives for $5.
damn,
It
for real?
yeah, it was a no namer, but still 64 gigs for $5. I would have took my chance. I would
Yeah,
have took my chance
exactly.
on
Even
that.
if it fucking took a dump,
Yeah,
you only lost $5, and if it works, hey, you came up.
and even late yesterday they had Amazon had a 3 terabyte Seagate for $100.
Damn.
Free shipping on it too for everybody.
Shit, man.
So you guys gotta keep up on
The
it.
holidays got my pockets looking sad, man. I got fucking about to make this trip to Massachusetts to visit my sister,
Yep.
and then turn around for Christmas. You know, I'm making that big trip out to Vegas, so my girl can so we're gonna go spend Christmas with my girl's family. So I'm about to hit up Disney while I'm out there, though, bro.
Nice.
I'm about to act like a big fucking kid. But anyway, Apple's still chugging along. You know, we always say, you know, we take our shots at them, but I don't know. What do you think about their stock drop? Do you think this is a sign of things to come, or do you think there's just a temporary setback?
I mean, I think it's a sign of things to come if they really don't. The iPhone 5, again, it sold millions, but in the tech world, I think it was a slight disappointment. Because again, I believe I believe the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal. But after a certain, how much smaller are you gonna make the iPad, and how much longer are you gonna make the iPhone 5?
Yeah, those the new iPods are really nice. I haven't gotten my hands on one. I wanted to get one, but like I said, holidays I gotta take care of everybody else before myself.
Yeah.
But them joints look dope. It's basically an iPhone without the phone.
I'm saying they need to do something, either refresh their whole lineup all across the board, or come out with a new product down on that ITV or something, because they're
Wasn't
stagnating.
wasn't there rumors that they were gonna make a TV maybe a year or so ago?
Even this year, even up to a couple of months ago, people were speculating it was going to drop during both of their events, but it never did. And again, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's something they're not working on, because I have heard them negotiating with like studios and stuff. So with movie studios and TV studios. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's something that they need. But even with that, just imagine an ITV. It's gonna be like 14 inches, $2,000 or some shit. So and again, it's gonna fucking sell.
It's gonna look nice though.
It's gonna sell, but you have people like Google, Amazon, these other companies putting out high quality products. Yes, they're not Apple, but they're of the same quality, if not better sometimes, even if other people don't want to admit it. And they're putting it out for 5 than what it costs. And again, people are catching on. Something funny, out here we get a Hot 97 as a radio station out here on the tri-state area or whatever. And every year that the iPhone used to come out, it used to be just the iPhone giveaway. And if any of you guys that live up here have been listening to Hot 97, now it's the iPhone and GS3 giveaway. They let you choose.
Yeah.
Again, it's something small. It's a change. It's a change of the times. People that maybe wouldn't hear about the GS3 regular, they'd be like, all right, hang on. So if they're giving this GS3 as an option, that shit must be good, or as good.
Yeah, and I agree. The it's like me and you always say it's always about choices. Like when people at my job and like my family and my friends and stuff, they always come to me when they ask me for stuff. They go, Judd, what's a good phone that I can get? Should I get an iPhone? Should I get an Android phone? Blah blah blah. And I go, well, the first thing I always ask is, what do you want to do with your phone? Because that's really what it boils down to. Like, we both have our sides and things like that, but, at the end of the day, it really depends on what you want to do with your phone. If you want to change around a bunch of shit and you like, being creative and things like that, then, go with the Android phone. If you get bored easily, go with Android, But if not, if you're real simplistic, then go with, an iPhone. Shit, I was going to get an iPhone for my work phone. We have to get new work phones. I was about to get an iPhone for my work phone. Because it's simple, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about something bugging up on me, while I'm at work when I need a call. You know what I mean? So that was, my line of thinking for that. So mark that down in history, folks, before y'all trying to say I'm incredibly biased. because I will reference this episode. I'll drop the link right on the collie next time it happens.
Mm.
But since we were talking about Google and Apple and things like that, let's talk about the ruling that they said about Samsung, where they had to come out of pocket, but now Samsung increased the price on their products that they're selling to Apple. I think this is a little bit of a, all right, we got you. You want to fuck around?
Yeah, like a little fu to them. But
Yeah.
that shows it, and that just shows if there wasn't a large rift in the relationship that they had, now now there is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now
And
there is.
this is from all those people because remember back on the collie a couple months ago, um, you and I were talking to everybody, and I've been saying, I'm like, yo, y'all aren't listening to me. Samsung is the meat and potatoes of the iPhone. You know what I mean? They're the ones who build the processors, this and that and the third. And everybody goes, but it's practically a different company. But Apple tells them what they want to build. It don't matter.
They were saying it's a different
If I
division.
hire a contractor to build my house, I tell him what I want to build. But if he don't build it, I'm shit out of luck, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing. Why would I piss off the contractor building my house? And people are saying that now they're kicking up the price. They're kicking up the price, for that they charge for Apple to buy their products and their designs and things like that. And I really think people thought that Samsung was just gonna let that shit slide.
Not at all. Not at all. And like I said, it's definitely a rift in the relationship, and I think it could push if they push too hard. It could cause Apple to find another manufacturer. I don't know exactly what they supply them with or whatever,
Yeah.
but I'm sure a bunch of people would be lining up with their
Oh yeah.
lining up straight sweating trying to get a contract with Apple. But then if that could happen, so far, there's been very few complaints about the quality of Apple products. And if
Yeah.
they go to somebody else, somebody maybe a little bit lesser known, there could
Yep.
be product quality issues.
And it
So
goes both ways. Samsung is obviously eating off the Galaxy S3 sales, and now the new Nexuses are, they got the Nexus 10 coming out, and then their Galaxy Note line and things like that off of all their phones. But let's be real here. A big chunk of that bread that they're coming in is coming from Apple.
yeah,
So
for sure.
it really goes both ways. As a tech head, as a fan of all this phone war shit that we always talk shit about, I don't want to see that relationship break up because Apple has already solidified itself as a giant in this game. And I would hate to see something like you just said, quality control issues be their demise because of something stupid like that. Because they decided to sue Samsung, and Samsung said, you know what, we're not copying your designs. And Apple wanted to take it to the courts, and they said, all right, fuck you, we're going to raise your prices. I don't want to see some stupid shit happen like that. That's like your favorite, that's like the Beatles breaking up because what's the Japanese bitch got all jealous and wanted old boy to herself. Stupid shit like that.
Man, I'm on the other end. I'm on the other end. I say fuck them. I say Samsung should up the price by 1,000% and let them go find another fucking. It's all political though. It's all money. So again, Samsung, they have to make money somehow, and Apple got big deep pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Things gonna get real interesting with this shit.
for
Like
sure.
they say on the collie, winter is coming.
It is.
All right, so we segued it. We halfway both segued into it, and then we jumped back on this other shit. But let's talk about the Nexus 4 for a minute, man. I think this shit's gonna crush the buildings, dog.
You know what? I mean, it is crushing the buildings. It's pretty much sold out everyone. You know what? I just want to say a big "I told you so" to a bunch of people who were saying, "Man, like, I know it's still early. I know the device. I know it's pretty much already probably sold millions, but I know it's not in millions of people's hands yet. So it might be a little bit too early. But I haven't read many bad reviews about the thing. People were really doubting LG's ability, and I was telling like you guys are sleeping on LG. They're about to come out with a hit, but it's still early. We still got to get them out there, let them be in the hands of people for a couple of months. But the only complaint so far is trying to find one of these things.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was one of those people, so I can't say I told you so because I was very weary of LG. But I had my reasons from a personal standpoint, from a I guess, professional standpoint, I guess you could call it really. But I also did say that I wouldn't be surprised if Google was right next to them every step of the way going, you got that there? All right, cool. What's this? Nope, take it out. Want this? Yep, this is good. You know, I think Google had their hardware engineers in the trenches, so to speak, with LG working hand in hand. I really think that this is the first time that we've seen Google really have their hands in it instead of saying, hey, this is what we want, build it. You know what I mean?
I would say it's the second time. Well, with a phone first time, but the second time was they did they originally did that with the Nexus 7. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think they
yeah.
followed the same process with this, and they probably held LG's hand even a little bit tighter, just
Oh, yeah.
because people were doubting, and so far I've heard nothing but good things about the processor, the screen. The only complaints that I see that we could get in the future is because it has a glass back and it's
So
good.
it'll have the same problem as the iPhone.
Yeah, it's gonna shatter a lot, but still with that, people get a. I don't know what the fuck people are doing with their phones. I've I'm not one to talk because my last phone, my G2,
Oh, yo, go
kind
ahead,
of fun
go
kind
ahead,
of
tell
fun into
everybody
my
how you fucked up your G2.
my G2 kind of fun in water. Yeah, I was fucking. I was taking a shower and I had the G2 on the little soap next to the soap stand. I was listening to fucking music and I reached out to get some soap and I'm telling you, the thing kind of went up in the air and started to fall in the shower. I Supermaned it with one hand and just hopped out, paused, fucking dried it off or whatever. So it really didn't get that wet. Anyways, I mean, but I'm really not that clumsy with my phones. So like
Yeah,
sometimes I look at these fucking pictures of iPhones with like just cracked screens and cracked in half. I don't know how people do it, but that's probably gonna be the one major complaint from this phone. It's gonna be body wise. I don't think we're gonna hear much because then Snapdragon S4 processor doesn't get any faster than that. The
that
screen
shit's
is
probably
yeah
faster than some computer processors
yeah,
right now.
the screen is straight up beautiful. The price is there. They're fucking pretty much giving this thing away for the specs at $300. So again, I want to say people were doubting it, but everybody's jumping ship right now to get to get the LG Nexus.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a hit. And back to people fucking up their phones and shit. I need to have my own little segment every other week or so about the phones that I see come in at work. Um, my job, without saying a whole lot of stuff, so y'all motherfuckers can't track me down. Um, we have a contract with Radio Shack, and one of one of my really good friends is a wireless tech, and he repairs the phones that come in from Radio Shack. So it's basically you take your phone into Radio Shack, it's fucked up. If you can't fix it, they send you a gift card, whatever. But you would be surprised. Like I've been working at my job for almost 4 years, and I see stuff every other week that makes me go, "How do you do that to your phone, dog?" You see phones that are melted, fucking look like somebody ran them over with a car. Somebody just. It's hard to break a phone screen. I'm tall. I'm about 6'3". I can hold an Evo, the OG Evo. God rest his soul.
Mhm.
Shout out to my girl using my old Evo right now. But I could hold the OG Evo up above my head and drop it flat on the floor and scream with crack.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And these other phones with the Gorilla Glass, they don't break either. So for somebody's phone to look like it took a hammer, like they were playing with Gallagher or something, like it's crazy to me. So I think I might have to start dropping that every couple of weeks to smarten y'all up about how to take care of y'all phones.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck people do with their phones. My sister's the same way. She has cases on her phones and her shit's, it just literally the body on the phone is cracked. I'm like, are you fucking running it over with a car and shit? But again, I know there's gonna be a lot of. I saw one video already. If you guys go on YouTube, you want to see the most funniest shit ever. YouTube LG Nexus unboxing fail. The guy is unboxing. I don't know if you've seen this. The guy's unboxing the Nexus 4, and whatever. He has his camera in one hand, unboxing it with the other hand. Everything's going fine or whatever, until he has in his hand. He goes to do something, and he had a cup of coffee or something on the floor, not even on the table, on the floor, on the floor next to the table. The phone slips out of his hand, lands perfectly in the cup of coffee,
I know he was sick.
perfectly in the fucking cup. So it's something that is gonna happen. But even with this, with the Nexus 4, there's a really nice Google sending a really nice case for it. It's like an extra $20 or whatever. But I think it's a good investment. Like I said, if I'm probably gonna get one of these
I'm getting
January, so I'm gonna get out if I can fucking put some what's that like bulletproof casing around this shit.
that
I'm gonna put it
Kevlar dog.
Kevlar, yeah. Put that shit on there, man.
Yeah, man, it's just one of those things. What's funny, like since we're talking about fucking up our phones and shit, I have a 3D. I think I bought it at like the beginning of the summer. I bought it from a kid off Craigslist to replace my original Evo. Now, I will admit that I fixed my phone a couple of times myself at the job, replacing the screen and stuff. But my Evo, my 3D looks kind of beat up compared to my OG Evo sitting on top of my fridge, and my girl's Nexus S that I bought for her last year. Um, the power button just stopped working, so I was like, well, instead of sending in a claim because she has insurance on her phone. Instead of sending in a claim, I said, well, babe, why don't you just use my Evo for the time being? We'll get you a new phone, whatever. Um, and this shit looks like brand new. I'm glad I didn't sell that bitch because remember I was telling you I was about to flip that shit. I was going to do the Craigslist come up so I can scratch some money together. I was about to cop that new iPod.
Craigslist shuffle.
Yep. And Craigslist was about to be real good to me, but I didn't do it. Glad I did.
And I think that's the next step that these manufacturers need to start working on, because internally these phones, they're pretty beastly. But like again, I wish I don't know somehow I could demonstrate like what happened to my phone. Like it was literally the amount of water that got on my phone was like taking a phone and giving it maybe two light sprays from a bottle of water from a spray bottle, two light sprays on the front and back, so four sprays total. Like I don't see how that should make a phone total. And again, it did that, and I dried it off right away. Like took it together. My one mistake was not putting it in a bowl of rice, which apparently really fucking works. But I took it apart.
I won't go into the one day, you know what, man? One day I'll go through like the technological side. If
Mhm.
you guys want to hear it out there, I'll drop some tips. But the long story short is it's a hit or miss. Um, it's real hit or miss. What water does to the board, without boring everybody out there, is the water. There's a charge going through the phone because the battery. Obviously, everybody knows how a charge works. Sometimes the water can short the charge, or two, or B, when it shorts the charge, it can fry a component or burn a trace. If it burns a trace, that means the electronic signal from one component to another can't complete its circuitry, so then it doesn't work. That's why some people, when they drop their phones in water, like I know I dropped my Evo in some water and the car mode kept popping up because the system connector where you plug your charger in, um, that gets corroded. The water corrodes the point, kills the trace, and there you have it. Sometimes rice does work though because it sucks the moisture out, so you leave it sit in there for a day or so, and it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's really hit or miss. I think you just caught some bad luck.
I did. 'Cause I mean, it was
You
light
hit
amount
the
of
wrong
water.
component, dog.
I took the phone apart, dry, like there was literally maybe a drop or two had gotten on the battery. I dried it off, and again, the full phone just like completely stopped working. So I think with build, that's the next step these companies need to take on build quality. Just like how they've been innovating with the Gorilla Glass screens.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and it goes back to our next topic. And before I segue into it, that article that we wrote, a year and a half ago now,
yeah,
for FSBS, about not just the inside workings of the phone with better screens and things like that. I mentioned in March, Danny and I wrote a two-part article. It's actually the first time that Danny and I worked together.
mhm.
Um, and my part of the article, the future of cell phones and things like that, is I wanted to see them improve on the basic functions of the phone. Let's get better call quality, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And like you said, man, I think that's one of those things to make these phones more durable. Like we were talking earlier before the show when I was trying to fix my phone. Um, I'm already mad about that anyway. But when I was trying to fix it, it's just like you said, it's nice and flashy, but it don't fucking last long. There's no reason that I should spend, doing things the normal way, quote unquote, where you get a 2-year contract. If I'm signing a 2-year contract, there's no way in hell that my phone should take a shit inside of those 2 years because of natural circumstances. Something just decides that it doesn't work. I shouldn't need to have insurance to spend my hard-earned money when I'm in a 2-year contract for one phone. Either the warranty needs to last 2 years, or they need to shake some shit up. Because, like I said, there's no way for something to stop working inside of 2 years if you sign that commitment.
For what people pay for these phones now, like in total, not just even when you upgrade and you get a little upgrade discount, for what we pay for these phones over 2 years, including our monthly bills, these phones should come with 2-year warranties on them, or at least a free 1 full year warranty, and then the other year at a discounted price. Like, again, for what you're paying for these phones, and as much as we use them now, these phones are personal computer, music, and picture devices. There's no reason why they don't come with full fucking warranties. And you gotta go out and pay extra for a warranty. I don't care how cheap it is. Again, that's just an extra cost added on to a real expensive phone already.
Yep, I can't disagree with you there. Nowadays, cell phones are our lifelines. I'm sure you can attest to that when Sandy came through.
Yeah, and even then, like, it was shit. my fucking almost $90 a month wasn't shit to me when Sandy came through, but fucking.
Damn, you're spending that much on your phone bill, man? I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, my shit's $90 a month for 200 megabytes of data.
Bro, T-Mobile giving away phones this weekend, man.
But man, fuck T-Mobile, man. Fuck T-Mobile. I'm telling you, I'm done with them. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, they would have to give me a free Nexus 4. I've been on T-Mobile now going on 4 years. This January will be my 4th year. I called them fools up literally this week to see what my upgrade price would be. I told you about it. On the fucking on what phone? Do you remember what phone I asked them?
You asked them about the 1X.
About the 1S. Yeah, about the 1S. And this motherfucker told me like $275. With
but wasn't it free in the ad that you saw?
Yeah, the ad, I don't know what the fuck was. The ad was free, but it was for if you like opened up a new line. But fucking, so I called them up. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a little discount. I got my upgrade coming. With the upgrade, I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna deal with these people. Like for $25 more, you get the fucking Nexus 4. Let's not even talk about how they're raping people on the Nexus 4 price. You can buy an unlocked Nexus 4 from Google for $300, but you go and try and buy the same unlocked Nexus 4 from fucking T-Mobile, and that bitch is gonna cost you almost $500.
We gotta start up a collection. Help Danny get a new phone.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna start one of those. What's that website called?
We're gonna have to set a fucking. When we launch our site, we're gonna have to fucking put a donate button on that bitch.
Donate button. $1 at a time, people. $1 at a time.
All right. So speaking of phones and speaking of carriers fucking us over, let's do the rain dance for Google finally starting their own. And I guess this is now a good time for me to toot my own horn about this, huh, bro?
Yeah, definitely.
Last
you know what, people? The reason we're doing this episode right now is because somehow we did this episode last week. It got deleted, and fucking Juck called it last week. The same exact thing, verbatim.
I called this shit when we this same article that we were talking about. I don't remember if I put it in the article, but I remember when me and you were writing the idea. We were talking on Google Talk, and we were both tossing ideas back and forth from each other. And I said, "Yo, man, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 years or so that Google starts their own phone service." And I said, it's probably going to be all database and everything is going to be voice over IP. And lo and fucking behold, Justradamus strikes again.
Yep, Google is looking to start a wireless company. They're working with Dish Network to buy or rent or however it works with Spectrum. But this is pretty much happening. This one article that I'm reading off of it now, it calls it as a rumor, but I read another article from the Wall Street Journal, I believe.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty much a done deal.
Which it's pretty much a done deal. It's just Google working things out. And one thing I'm gonna say about this, when I first read it, I was really excited, but I was thinking about this shit a little bit later, and I'm like, the main component, the main thing that Google needs to get right on this thing, and it's an incident that's been happening with the Nexus 4 and other products. It's customer fucking service. They can have the best, the cheapest prices. They can have the best service for your phones, but they need to get customer service right this time, or I think they're gonna have a difficult time signing people up at first. At first, so Google doesn't give up that easy. But
Nope.
at first, for this to
They
fucking
will
work,
take a loss.
but I mean, I'm just throwing it out there at the beginning. We can put that to the side. But this is big fucking news. Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, the rest of you motherfuckers, you better be shaking in your fucking boots right now and don't sleep on this fucking deal.
Hmm?
This is
Yeah,
big.
I can't even say nothing, man, because besides me being smug as shit right now, but this is pretty much everything that I've said, man. Like, and I wish I could make some money off of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about, like you said right now, they're talking about, one of the possible ways. We don't know exactly how, the payments are going to work,
Yeah.
but they were talking about, just charging for data only and then
Yep.
doing a VoIP calls.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
fucking, that, like literally they could do some shit where, I'm throwing numbers out there, but fucking imagine, like either you get 500 megabytes, which is double what I got, which is nothing. 500 megabytes free a month. You got something like that, and then some shit like unlimited data for like no contract. Hang on, the most important part, no contract, unlimited data for like 40, $50 a month. Just
Yeah,
imagine,
I can
just
see
imagine
it
that shit.
being, I can see them purposely undercutting every other company because, every like I was talking to my girl earlier and I was telling her about this, because I usually like tell her stuff about this, like, because she'll be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So like, we'll talk about it and things like that because, you know, obviously, one household, we got to make sure that our cell phone bills are right. And I was telling her about it and I was pretty excited. And she's like, well, won't Google they won't make any money off of that. And I said, I didn't give her a speech, but I said, I think now as consumers, we're so programmed now to dealing with corporations and companies making money off of us. Whereas, we're always talking about these cell phone companies nickel and diming us, and this goes for all of them. In one way or another, you're getting nickel and dime. With Verizon, you're getting really, really good data, but you're paying an assload and you're not getting all the data that you can use. With Sprint, I got unlimited data, but my speeds aren't that fast. So either way, I'm getting nickel and dime in some way. But they're making money off me at the end of the day. But Google can afford to give the consumers what they want at the prices that they want at a lower price so that more people get it because there's still volume. If you have 100 people sign up for your service and it's a high price, that's going to even out if you have 1,000 people at a lower price subscribe to your services. You know what I mean? So I think we're so programmed to having to pay, quote unquote, for what we want.
Yeah.
And that goes with their Google Fiber service that we were talking about, I think, in our first episode. This is stuff that Google wants to do for everybody because they know everybody's going to jump off the wagon, and they can break even and be okay. They can take a small loss and be okay.
At the end of the day, they can just, they might be able to subsidize through ads and whatnot. There's tons of ways that they can work this, and it's going to open up because like, this shit actually happens like around the world. Like you pay for what you use almost to a certain extent, and then the prices are much low. So this will open up to basically a la carte, as they say, fucking cell phone services where you pick and choose, like I want these many minutes. Like fuck, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna call it, but this month I'll buy 2,000 Google minutes. That's all I need for this month, and then you keep your unlimited. You always have your unlimited data, for example. So and next month I still have 2,000 minutes left over. I don't need it. There's many ways that they can work this. And we're just speculating, but I'm really hoping that's the direction they're gonna go in. And but again, that's one thing that was spoken of about it just being a data only and then using VoIP. And again, this also with the Dish network, there is LTE. There is Dish does own a certain spectrum that is LTE. So we're not gonna have fucking 2G speeds or something if they work it right.
Yeah, I remember, I was seeing in the article and I'm trying to scroll through the page that, you and I were and me especially, and another person, when I get their name, I'm gonna shout them out. Um, the way that speeds work, if I'm gonna drop like a little quick network lesson to you guys, you actually made the post about their speeds. I wonder, and I'm clicking the link, I wonder what frequency this is on. It's looking like it's, I wonder what the channel is on. Yo, excuse me real quick. Oh, 2000 to 2020 megahertz. That's not too bad. Basically, the problem with WiMAX Sprint's 4G, quote unquote, because really nothing that we have right now is really LTE. They actually had to go to court to be able to name this stuff LTE. It's only LTE, or it's only 4G in name only. That is the fourth generation. It's the fourth iteration of a network. 4G speeds in theory are supposed to be much faster. But it's basically a marketing ploy. But anyway, to make a long story short, the higher the frequency that you have, the weaker the signal gets broadcasted. So that like Sprint's WiMAX is a very high frequency. I think it's at like 2.1 gigahertz. So the problem is that if you don't have as many repeating towers out, the signal doesn't go out as strong. That's why people with Sprint, and I'm sure you guys out there that have WiMAX with Sprint still, can attest that the service inside a building fucking sucks because the network penetration isn't as good because the frequency is so high. Lower frequencies penetrate buildings and things like that better. So just a quick little wireless network lesson for you guys. But I think, I don't really think that has a lot to do with it. Just let that be gone anyway, because I think that Dish Network has the reach along with Google to make this network work.
Yep.
I think that they can really make this the service, number one, good, because at the end of the day, we need good service. And number two, the speeds are going to be right too, because that's untouched spectrum. Nobody else is sharing that spectrum. It's just like bandwidth and things like that. The more people want it, the slower it is.
And that particular spectrum, it not that it overlaps, but it runs close to a Sprint spectrum. Yep. So I heard that Sprint could bitch or complain about it or ask the FCC to have them tone down their speeds. Like, that was just crazy to me. So the Dish Network speeds, it was like 1 gigabytes per second or some ridiculous shit like that. And Sprint could ask them to tone it down because it could be uncompetitive or unfair for them to have that speeds.
They actually have a legit argument there because the way that a CDMA network works, and again, I have to drop a little mini wireless network lesson to you guys. The way that a CDMA network works is that it has X amount of subscribers on a channel. And if you think of a cell phone as a walkie-talkie where you have to go to channel 1, 2, 3, et cetera, that's the way that it works. So in theory, a CDMA channel can hold more subscribers, which are callers, without bogging down the network than a GSM network can, because of the way that it hands off calls from tower to tower. But the problem is that if the power, if a phone or device is creating too much power, if it's dragging too much energy, so to speak, it can impact the network. So the way that we test phones at work is that we measure each channel how much decibels that the phone is pushing out at that particular channel. So Sprint does have a legit argument that if we'll say the Google network is producing X amount of dBms, it could be actually interfering with their network because of the excess power that it's using, because I think it says like a 5 megahertz spectrum that overlaps. So it actually can, to a certain extent, I'm not sure how big, because those numbers go on and on and on at this level, but I'm just trying to simplify it. It actually can fuck up their network just a little bit. I don't know how big it can, but they have a right to complain about it for the most part. But in reality, they're really just copping please because they know they fucked up from jump.
Yeah, they better be shook. They better be shook. But I can't wait for this shit to go through. I can't wait for this shit to go through. Can't wait to have Nexus wireless.
I'm changing my number. I'm going to have to change my number because I'm finna drop on this prepaid here soon when I come back from my vacation, and I don't even know if I can take my number to the other one. And I hope Google can make that happen. Please, Google, if you're listening, make that happen for me, please. I hate having to send that text out saying, "Jut, new number."
I'll do. You know what? With them, you might be able to get it ported over. If you have, or no, if you have Google Voice, the number setup is easy. They might just,
Oh, true. I forgot about
yeah,
that.
they might just start, giving those Google numbers away for free instead of charging them.
We gotta be more close guarded with our ideas, man. This is like the third time this shit's happened. All right, so let's move on. The Wii U, man. This
video game time.
Yeah, man. We don't talk about video games a lot because we just don't game all like that. But this shit's moving, man.
Yeah. Let me see. This, you know what?
So they got that shit's coming out
18th.
Sunday.
18th. I'm gonna tell you this much. I have the original Wii, and I mean it's a nice device, but I want to say I fell into a trap because that thing maybe has a good 4 to 5 hours of use on it. If that matter of fact, I couldn't tell you where it's at right now.
It's collecting dust somewhere.
Even if I tried, I couldn't tell you what it does. But again, the motion control was innovative. I'll give it that. I read the motion control was innovative and fun as shit for a couple of games that we did play, but it still felt kind of childish. But the one thing, guys, I remember on Nintendo, it's funny. Nintendo has always been in their own lane when it comes to gaming. I see a lot of people, they always go, "Oh, Nintendo ain't shit compared to a 360 or a PS3." They're not trying to even be in that lane. They're in their own lane, and they did it this time with the Wii U. And it has this. If you guys haven't, I'm assuming a lot of you guys have seen it. It has this big separate control, which you can do a bunch of things on. It's sort of like a mini tablet.
It looks like a Game Gear, dog.
Pretty much. You know what? This thing, it's gonna fucking move. It's gonna be the hottest toy out this winter. I'm not buying one of these. I'm not.
I probably won't. I barely use my Xbox and I have my Kinect, but apparently I'm reading that it's trying to like really streamline a lot of stuff. Even if you don't use it as a game, you can use it as a universal remote, things like that. So that's kind of cool.
It does, and I think I read it right. It kind of does. If anybody's ever used a Google TV, it kind of like it organizes your channel too. Like you can use the control as what do you call this? As a TV guide.
Yeah.
The control can serve as a TV guide, and the other thing, if you're playing a game on the TV and then somebody has to use the TV, you can continue the game on the control.
Oh, okay.
So it's its own mini little game station itself.
If they get some support through for me, I have DirecTV. If we can get some support through DirecTV, this will be a very nice all-in-one type of entertainment system. I know you and I are both pretty big on home entertainment stuff.
And that's
like seamless, having everything seamless, like it touch your hands. Mm-hmm. This has the potential to do that. And especially if they get soft modded, like they've been able to do with the other Wii.
Yeah.
This could be really good in the development community and things like that. I can really see this touching out to a lot of people. I know we shit on it before. If you remember back when we did our live show, and I just asked a simple question, and I was like, "Do we care about the Wii U?" And everybody was like, "Fuck no." But I think now that we've gotten some more information, I think that it's got some potential.
Well, as far as live TV, as you were saying now, that's the thing that was kind of, if anybody used the older Nintendo, that's the thing that was kind of, it had the absolute worst fucking Netflix app I have ever fucking seen in my life. I would rather see Netflix on a damn BlackBerry before I see Netflix on a fucking regular Nintendo Wii, because it was so, it was horrible. It was the most like unintuitive thing I've ever seen. I really hope they fixed it on this. I really hope the graphic qualities are kind of up. If this thing can manage to have, if you guys have, a lot of you guys use the Xbox now. Like I don't use my Xbox for HBO Go and Netflix and every once in a while a Call of Duty game. But the Xbox is so like, the things are, all the video apps are so organized. The YouTube app is organized. If Nintendo can manage to do that, this thing is going to be very, very, very dope. But I'm not compelled to go and get one of these things yet at all. And if I had a kid, I'll get it just with the justification to give it to him. And then if he doesn't use it, if he doesn't use it, like, little bastard, why aren't you using what I bought you? But fucking, let's see with this thing. Let's see with him, especially because the next story we're gonna talk about really is gonna be a threat for this if Nintendo doesn't come right.
Yeah, and I think before we wrap this up, I
Mm.
think ultimately what it's going to boil down to is that it's a catalog of games. That's really what it's going to boil down to. It's either going to make or break this thing. If they can get some popular games, um, then I think that it really has a chance with everything else that it does. At least, at the very least, people go, oh, like, you know what this reminds me of, man? It reminds me of the Evo, the OG Evo, right?
Yeah.
Now, before y'all go, oh, Judd, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? If you think about it, the Evo on Sprint launched WiMAX first. WiMAX was touted as, quote, the first 4G network. So everybody and their mom jumped over to Sprint to cop the OG Evo because it had 4G, right? So now what we're seeing with the Wii U is it's the quote-unquote next generation of gaming consoles. So I think it being pushed out there first, I think it's going to cause a lot of people to go, oh, this is some new shit. Let's go get this. I think that's really what's going to push people to get it. Other than it looks pretty solid on paper.
What's the luxury that Nintendo has as far as games? The Xbox and PlayStation have a lot more pressure. All Nintendo has to do is put out a classic Mario game, and that's there isn't that.
Launch Mario Kart, man.
Yeah, there isn't that pressure with Nintendo to put out these new IPs that there is with PS3 and with Xbox. All it takes, and let's say the new lifespan of these new consoles is 10 years, for example. All it really takes is one really good game every 2.5 years for them, and they're fine. As far as the PS4 and Xbox 720 goes, we constantly want that next Grand Theft Auto, that next Halo, that next Call of Duty, that next Left 4 Dead, or games like that. We want these new games to be clear, so Nintendo doesn't have that much pressure on that side. Again, if they can come out with a banging Mario or Zelda game, Zelda's the other one, a banging Zelda
Yeah.
game, they'll get all the recognition they need. So they have that luxury, I feel, as far as games go.
Dope. Mario Kart, like I said, a Mario Party,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna bring it back. What if they relaunch Star Fox?
Yep.
That would be kind of dope. Or the little I'm assuming, does the little controller have a motion sensor in it?
You mean if it's touchscreen?
No, I'm saying like, is it like motion, like so you can move it to control it? Because that would be dope if they had like Star Fox and you can use the gamepad to steer your little aircraft on Star Fox.
I'm not sure. I want to say
because that would be a good ass idea.
I want to say it does, but I'm not sure. I know the screen. You can use the screen to control games, but I'm not sure if you can like move it yourself around.
Move it like an accelerometer. That's what
Yeah,
I guess I should have
accelerometer.
said.
Yeah, accelerometer. Yeah, I'm not sure if it has that.
Something to look into. But yeah, like we both said, on paper it looks pretty good. For price wise, should I just have it? I think I saw that deluxe version is gonna be $350. So it's got 32 gigs of internal memory and a free subscription to Nintendo's premium network. I have no idea what that entails.
It's like Xbox Live, basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the basic model has 8 gigs of memory, no game, and both boxes come with the gamepad and an HDMI cable. So they're looking out for you in a little bit. It's give you that HDMI.
They need to come right with this online thing, though. They need to come right with it. Everything else is there. Nintendo has that marketing, also that Apple-like marketing. Though the thing looks good. It's not a goofy looking system. And again, the same thing with the Nexus 4. Let's wait till this thing starts getting into hands and see what's gonna happen. But I think it's gonna be a hit.
Yep. So that perfectly segues us into the next thing that everybody's really anxiously waiting. The Xbox 720. Apparently, there's some leaks coming out about the next Xbox coming out there, and it's basically gonna. They're saying that it's gonna introduce us Connect 2.0, Blu-ray support, 8 gigs of RAM, and apparently 4 cores that are all individually based on the processor.
Man,
I don't know about all this, man. This shit sounds super fancy.
I like this thing. If you guys go on the Kali.com and Arcadium and find my thread about this thing, It's through this got leaked through Xbox World magazine. It's a UK magazine which is going out of business in two issues or whatever. So they're just saying fuck it, and they're going ham and dropping everything that they know about it. And the machine itself looks absolutely beautiful. It's this dark, almost matte black with like a green or silverish greenish line down three quarters of the middle, and some of the other specs on. I mean, again, spec wise, this thing is a dream. Uh, Again, HDMI input, Connect 2.0. You'll be able to an AV input so you can watch and record live TV. A couple of USB 3.0 slots, a Blu-ray player on it for all those that were always complaining. We're getting a Blu-ray player, HDD access, so you can swipe out the hard drive. I don't know if that's gonna make it to the final thing, but I think that's pretty big, being able to replace your own hard drive. But from what I'm reading, now that I'm seeing it, there's gonna be Microsoft like type pins on it, so you're gonna have to switch it with a Microsoft hard drive. I mean, and the thing itself, it's a really nice looking fucking system. I like how this fucking thing looks. There's no talk on price, no talk on games, no talk on
That's what I'm worried about.
no talk on the controls. From looking at it and seeing the design concept of it, I wouldn't be surprised if the controls are just sort of like what we have now, but maybe a lot slimmer,
Hmm.
a lot slimmer, and maybe they'll throw on a small screen on there. A
Like the Dreamcast small.
Probably, exactly. That's what I'm thinking about. Or like a.
You know what? You know what? I'm probably gonna be in the minority here,
Mhm.
but I don't really care about having a touchscreen on my controller.
No, but
I look at the TV when I'm playing games.
but see with this one, I wouldn't even imagine it being a a screen sort of like the what the Wii U has that you use. Maybe like a small one to give you stats or something on. But again, that's just me
Yeah.
speculating. As an overall, I wouldn't be surprised if the control looks like the Xbox control now, which in my opinion is the greatest control for any system ever.
Yeah, I love the 360
I
controller,
wouldn't be
man.
surprised if the same control, just slightly thinner, maybe slightly lighter with a better battery. But this thing
Yeah.
itself, man, it's whoever designed the hardware. If it comes out to be like this mock-up, and I think it is. This is a pretty detailed mock-up. This is a good looking fucking machine. Like you just read the specs. The specs are there. Connect 2.0 is even going to be an augmented reality like type of sensor going on. So for later on in the generation, you're gonna fucking be able to use, I don't know, maybe some like 3D type glasses with it or something.
Yeah, this will be dope. And really, the only thing I hope it this is like you said, this all speculation. So hopefully Microsoft gives us another year or so before they take all my fucking money with this, because I gotta get it. I gotta.
Yeah,
I gotta get it, dog. I
I
haven't bought a system on launch in I don't know how long. So this is gonna be good, man. Our generation is probably the luckiest generation. Before we hop off of video games, because if you think about it, man, our generation is so fucking lucky. Like those of us in our mid to late 20s, we grew up being able to play all the great systems. We had the OG Nintendo while we were younger. So then when we got a little bit older, we got the Super Nintendo, right? And then we had the Genesis while we were about that same age. And then even if you want to throw in the fucking Sega Saturn, 3DO, the Jaguar system, I had one of them back in the day. The OG PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, which I fucking love the Dreamcast. If I can get my hands on one and play 2K2, I'd be on it right now. Nintendo 64, I can go on and go on and go on and go on. Like, our generation, man, we are lucky to have all this. Now we're going to get a lot more while we still care about video games.
Yeah, like I mean, the same thing you said. I haven't copped a launch system probably ever. So this one, I mean, I don't fucking game like that, and I'm interested with this thing to fucking for Netflix pretty much. For Netflix and the whole being able to watch TV shows online and shit. So if I do cop, it'll be for that. And this will probably be not a first day, around lunchtime cop for me.
Yeah. And my Xbox hasn't gotten any play in about 2 weeks. It's collecting dust over there. But, so, um, with our last topic to round out the our tech segment, and this is pretty much me and Danny gonna stay in Google again. Google a lot of kids, man. We talked about it in our lost show last week, but what we're talking about is Google puts a blind man in one of their cars that drive themselves.
Yeah, and this story, we edited a couple of stories from I'm gonna call it the last episode.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is one story I wanted to keep because this is pretty incredible to me. And Google, Google's been having driverless cars for a while now, and the things have driven hundreds of thousands, 200,000 miles without having any accidents or any major problems or whatever. And now they're taking it one step forward by putting I guess just everyday people, because there's been Google technicians and shit riding these cars. They put a blind man in one of these cars. The man was able to go to like a McDonald's or something or whatever. And this just shows like what we should really be innovating about. I love all my gadgets. I love my phones. I love my tablets. I love the video games. But I really think with the money that all these companies have, Google, Apple, Microsoft, HP, Samsung, Sony, all of them, I think they can put their resources together and start doing better projects like this. Like, and this is just the implications for this for elderly people, people with disabilities, not just blind people, people with disabilities who are pretty much shut out of, because cars are important. Getting around is important, especially in if you don't live in a big city, if you live in smaller
Yep.
cities or whatever.
Especially like out on the West Coast, where like us here on the East Coast, we got it pretty lucky when it comes to like public transportation and things like that, because our cities are so like close together. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But like if you go out to like, for instance, I went to LA a couple of years ago. LA is so huge and so spread out that like you almost need a car. But for instance, if you live in New York, you can take the train everywhere. You know what I mean? But like you said, man, this is gonna be awesome, awesome, awesome. Just not even because it's Google. If anybody did it, this is such a great thing for everybody. I'm gonna keep my idea to myself that I had last week to make money off of this shit, because one of these days, me and Danny's idea is gonna make me and Danny some money.
For real.
I don't know how we're gonna do it yet, but we're gonna make some money. Maybe we can podcast full time, man. Maybe we can take over the #1 spot for these kids that fucking make a podcast every other goddamn day.
For real, man. But yeah.
Yes, I'm bitter. Me and Danny can't. We stay in the top 5 for the most part, but we don't stay there long because a lot of people do podcasts every day, every other day, and we only do it weekly.
Yeah, they pay for that storage. That's the reason we don't do it more often. They pay for that fucking storage or whatever. But listen, Google, man, shout out to Google for this one. If you guys haven't seen it, again, go on YouTube, put Google gives man a blind car, and you're just gonna see this amazing videos, and the implications for this are huge.
Yeah, this is great. And so far what they've been testing is they've been using it for a while now, and then they haven't had any major incidents and things like that. So this is really gonna be. This is going to be innovative. It's going to be some iRobot shit where everything is driving itself. This is taking asshole drivers off the road. This is taking drunk drivers off the road. This is taking, those stubborn old people who think that they can still drive and they don't want to let it go, that they can't quite see like they used to. This is going to take away 16-year-old Becky who wants to text Jason about the prom.
Yep.
All of that shit, So let's, I know we make a lot of jokes about Google taking over the world and being Skynet, but let's be real here for a second and really think about how much safer this is going to make the roads. Because anybody out there at any time can get into serious, harm because of someone else, So let's all take that in consideration and let's support this idea. As a tech community, this is something that we all should be behind. Like, hands down. There should be, I dare anybody out there to come up with a good reason why this won't work. Like a legit good reason. I'll figure out a prize for y'all if y'all can hit me back. Danny and I both will put our quote-unquote money where our mouth is, and we'll figure out something to do for y'all if y'all want to come on here and debate it with me and Danny.
Mm-hmm.
So that wraps up tech. So let's move into pop culture real quick. And Boardwalk Empire's shit's been getting real, man. I know we've had a little hiatus here because of everything that's been going on. So let's just talk about all the shit that's been going on. So I know you guys been keeping track at home. If you haven't watched a new episode, then y'all might want to pause it, fast forward, whatever. Me and Danny finna run through the last 3 weeks now.
Pretty much. I mean, then we're gonna do a little more emphasis on, especially this last one, because
Yeah.
fucking, I mean, there was the assassination attempt on Nucky. It was mostly directed at Nucky.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Rothstein just happened to fucking be there or whatever, and the other dude. And Nucky, this latest episode, it was kind of fun. It was funny at the same time, and I really liked how they did it. So Nucky's suffering from like a concussion, pretty much, and he's acting all goofy. He's acting all goofy. But my favorite part about him acting all goofy, and maybe it was a subconscious thing, maybe it wasn't, was him throwing shots at his bodyguard and at Margaret for not like kind of knowing they were fucking around or whatever. Like his word, it was kind of funny on that.
Yeah, man. I guess like number one, can we get rid of this bitch already? Like, I forget all the jokes that we had last week on the Lost episode,
Mm-hmm.
but you had me fucking dying. Cause what'd you say? They hit the building with the Predator missile.
Yeah, that was the Call of Duty Predator missile.
Yo, they got fucked up. And then Nucky's I don't even know what the fuck you want to call him. His jump off, I guess we could call it that.
Pretty much, it's a little play toy.
At least he got the pipe one more time after he put his paws on old boy acting all tough in the
That little schoolboy fight, I call it.
Yo, he fucked that dude up though. I give Nucky his props from actually kind of bossing up. I mean, you gotta crawl before you can walk.
Yeah, I mean he fucking. I mean that episode and then segueing into the next episode, he was he could have been handling other things like more serious matters, but he was fucking around for fucking around. He caused this poor girl her life. Then we get into the snooze episode, and we're gonna switch back and forth between episodes. And in the snooze episode, he calls a meeting up of all the guys from New York. I want to say Chicago. I don't know if it was even Philly, all over the place. All his quote unquote comrades and business partners.
He called up the Legion of Goons.
Yeah, in order to get backing to kill Torio. I mean not Torio. To kill Jip.
I can't think of his name. It's Jip's boss because Jip, like if y'all remember, Jip almost got that at work.
Yeah,
because I guess the dude thought that Jip was being sloppy, and Jip was like, "I'll kill them all. I'll kill Nucky. I'll kill Rothstein because really, Rothstein is the big fish right now. Nucky's a big fish in his own right, so to speak. But Rothstein, like Rothstein is like the LeBron James of this shit right now in this time. You know what I mean? He's really got his hands on everything, and So basically, Jip gets that second shot, and he's got an army behind him. And Nucky tries to get the Legion of Goons.
And
it didn't work out so well.
And the Legion of fucking Goons rejected his ass with a quickness. Honestly, I thought there's gonna be maybe a little bit of one person saying yes, a couple saying no. But
I honestly thought that Rothstein was gonna ride with him.
He didn't. I knew he wasn't because Rothstein's been telling his ass for a while.
True.
Like, get your head out of your fucking ass and fucking get your shit together.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense though too. You know what I mean? Because he been fucking, worried about that broad, the actress broad. You know what I mean? So it really like Nucky's all his little side projects have been for nothing. You know what I mean? He don't got shit now, and Jip got all the goons. Like
Jip got jokes. Jip got jokes. Jip called him up.
This nigga.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I know it's sad, but I think we can all pretty much guess that Jip is gonna get killed something epic when it's all said and done. But Jip got jokes.
This dude, because dude told him that he could be a general.
Yeah.
He could be a good general. And my man broke into the fucking glass and took General Anthony's hat. Showed up at the beach rocking it like it wasn't shit. Like,
Yo,
hey, what's up, y'all?
Jip was looking like fucking oh man, what fucking movie is that? I forgot what fucking movie it was when Brad Pitt when he showed up on the beach and he was just fucking dudes up with his sword. Like Jip
Talking
is
about Troy.
Troy. Jim pulled the scene out of Troy out there, man. Then when he called Nucky up and he had jokes on him,
Yeah,
on Ken the Girl, like that's all type of fucked up. But again, I know on that end we can pretty much guess how that's gonna end. But fucking again, this episode, fucking Nucky. I really thought Nucky was gonna be able to get things more stable, but things are still pretty unstable in his world. I mean, he has the desire, like he says, he wants to go to war. He wants to go to fucking war. The desire is there, but he doesn't have the backing yet from other people.
Nucky's not built for that, man. Like, Nucky is not. Nucky is a white collar criminal. You know what I mean? Nucky can't. I don't know, man. I don't. I know Nucky can hire people to do work for him, but Nucky don't have them roots no more, man. Jimmy's gone. Once Jimmy was gone, his whole like his strong hand was gone. Because really, if you think about it, everybody might be like, "Oh, well, Owen," and I said it in our Lost episode that I think I made a pretty good point that I don't trust this dude, man, because dude's got ties to the IRA back home, and your home country is always going to take precedence. Especially Irish people are really proud. Like he killed old boy Splinter Cell style in a bathroom last season. So you never know when he might, decide to take the day off because he got to handle some shit for the IRA.
Yep.
Not to mention, he's giving your wife the work.
Hell yeah, and I think that's gonna come to light.
Oh yeah.
Either in this last episode they got, but hang on, I'm gonna go in a little 2 minute fucking rant. I know we're short on time, but fucking all these dudes always defending poor little fucking Margaret. Look at this bitch talking about we're gonna like she wants to fucking go overseas with dude. Like the moment we can fucking escape.
Fuck her, man.
Like
And
this,
this bitch had the nerve to ask for fucking birth control.
like yeah, exactly. It's
Fuck
fucking
her, man.
like
Fuck her.
again, I would love nothing more. Again, I don't think nothing's gonna happen to her, but I could see maybe during this whole war is gonna happen now. Maybe what's the you keep saying his name? I forgot. What's the fucking bodyguard's name?
Owen.
Owen. I could see Owen getting murked in
Oh yeah.
in one
Owen.
by accident. Maybe not necessarily a hit put out by Nucky, but I could see him taking a shot to the head or something.
He gonna catch a stray.
Yeah, he's gonna get
And
that work
Nucky,
by
and then
accident.
Nucky ain't gonna want nothing to do with her because he's been trying. And even though he had a jump off, and she been giving him the cold shoulder and shit, even before she knew about his jump off,
Or
he's gonna leave her, and then this bitch ain't gonna have nothing.
or something I thought of even deeper than that. Like, 'cause I don't know how often Nucky's been giving Margaret some of that work, but she could hold on to that birth control. Fuck around, Owen gets killed, then she feels Nucky's about to leave her, and she tells Nucky she's pregnant by his kid.
I think if that happened, Nucky would have her off, and he would take care of her kids by himself.
I don't know. You know what? I don't think Nucky would do that because Nucky has such a soft heart. Nucky has,
He does, man. But I think that he would know. For some reason, Nucky has really good.
it's like a sixth
Nucky's
sense.
got real good intuition for shit like that. So I think like he would know that some shit was gonna happen. But I think it's just wishful thinking. All I want for Christmas TV, guys, is for this bitch to catch a body. That's all I want for Christmas TV. That's all I want. We already got half of our wish from Walking Dead because this bitch Lori died.
Fucking.
Can we complete the circle, please? Please.
Hey,
So I guess we can just segue into Walking Dead then.
Walking Dead, man. Walking Dead's been pretty fucking epic. I mean, biggest news of the last couple of weeks is the fact that you just said Lori got killed. She got killed. She had the baby. The baby came out healthy for now.
She bled out.
Yeah, she had to bleed out. They allegedly show her son putting a bullet in her. It's still not known if that did or didn't happen.
Killer Carl.
Killer Carl, man. I mean, that's pretty much been the biggest news because the other side stories haven't been too entertaining. Shown, and the blonde are still stuck over in the governor's compound. Michonne kind of has an idea that they massacred those soldiers, and of course
Oh yeah, she knows something ain't right.
yeah, and then this guy's brother made a comeback. Homie, what's his name? The Hick.
Merle.
Yeah, Merle. Merle made a comeback with a RoboCop arm, and fucking he was a RoboCop arm and shit.
He looked like what's old boy from Mortal Kombat with the fake arms, Jax?
Yeah, yo, that's mad funny. Just like him, just like Jax. And then fucking the latest episode was the last week. Fucking homie went crazy in the prison and just started killing every fucking walker he saw.
Oh, Rick?
Rick went on a fatality mode, yo.
See, I'm gonna have to shit on Rick real quick. I've been riding with Rick for a minute, you know, no homo to that. Rick's my dude, man, because Rick, you know, and you and I have been talking about it. We were pretty much pro Rick during the whole Shane Rick feud, because you know we both are in agreement that Rick's a better leader. Rick makes best decisions for the group, whatever. But Rick acting like a little bit of a hoe now, because he had every opportunity after he knew that Lori was pregnant, this and that and the third. You know, obviously you will be mad, you know, that she was fucking your boy or whatever. He gave her the cold shoulder. She walked away from him. He gave her that old good job, good effort shit and tried to play the cold shoulder. But now that she's gone, he wants to act like a fucking madman, sit in the corner and rock himself to sleep and shit. Like, come on, dog. Like, really, you knew this shit was gonna happen because, you know, and we were talking about this shit before. You know, we know that these fucking we know that she wasn't gonna be able to survive the childbirth, you know, and that pretty much takes us into how are they gonna take care of this kid, man?
Well, you know, they did, you know, they sent out they found a bottle of Similac or whatever. But again, that you know what I didn't like about that? Like, that was mad fucking random. Like, that house just so happened to have one can. So, you know, how many more times are they gonna do that?
How often? This writing gotta tighten up, man. It's been a little all over the place.
How often? You know, what's next? They're gonna fucking run into a Babies R Us out there? That's the only thing that's gonna save that kid. Either a Babies R Us or find a mother who's lactating, or they can do something corny, like, I don't know, they run, because I mean, I don't want to completely spoil it, and I mean, it's not even a spoiler, it's an assumption. I haven't read none of the comics or whatever, but I have read that. I mean, if you haven't read the comics, you might want to mute this or whatever. I have read that after they leave here, because I guess they have to leave the prison or whatever, they come across a city, or Rick and them take over what the governor has going on. Yeah. It's one of those other things. So either one of those other things going to happen. They're going to have to take over what the governor has. Rick kills the governor, takes over what he has, and I'm sure they have more supplies there, and there's more women, and I saw some other kids there, so they'll be able to stay there for a while. Or they go to another city and they find that. Any other way, they're not going to be out in the woods with a baby like that for another fucking year or whatever, and they're not going to be able to raise a baby inside a prison without a constant stream of baby supplies.
Yeah, I think this is gonna start becoming a plot hole, and you know, let's be honest, there's been a couple.
Or the baby gets killed.
Hey, I said it in our Bermuda Triangle episode that Rick's gonna off the baby crawling towards him after it turns into a walker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, roast me if you want to for making kid humor, but hey, we've already seen it for the most part. But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna still watch it because it makes me laugh every time I watch the show. Something always makes me laugh, and my girl gets mad at me because I always fucking laugh at the most fucked up times. But like, the shit's just so absurd. Like, now she's starting to catch on to shit. She's like, really? Like, they were talking about going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we drove past that Piggly Wiggly and it was all tapped out. Oh, I know about a country store about 2 miles down the road. She hit that Stephen A. Smith come on look from the collie. I started bugging.
Like how do they miraculously know the area of wherever the fuck they're at?
I have no idea, because you would think that they covered a lot of fucking ground from here till there.
They did. They did cover it out, and they just, they magically know all these little back roads. If they were that smart, they would have known the fucking prison was there. If you know where the fucking little corner store is
Instead
at.
of stumbling onto that shit.
Yeah, if you know where the corner store is at, you're not gonna know where the fucking huge ass prison's at around there.
Yeah, and then I guess the other thing before we wrap it up is, excuse me, you were talking about, Rick, and I guess we can call them Team One, now that we've got this parallel storyline going on. I wonder what's going to happen if they figure out about that town, because the governor is clearly an alpha male, and Rick's an alpha male himself. You can't have two alpha males on one show.
Pretty much. I mean, I think I'm just go ahead and do my little speculation for that. I think what's gonna happen, because Michonne left, and again in the comic book, Michonne comes across the prison and she joins Rick's group. She does join Rick's group, and the way it's going, because they got Merle tracking her, so I'm gonna assume Merle's gonna track her to the prison, and then try and bring the governor back, and then the governor and Rick are gonna go at it. But most likely, the way I think this season is gonna end, I don't think this season is gonna end with because you guys know the season is split again into two parts. There's only a couple episodes left, so the season's gonna end probably with Michonne getting back to prison, a little bullshit happening in each camp, and then in the second part of the season, which is starting in mid-February, they'll discover each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how it shakes out. I don't think we're gonna see any crazy plot twist, other than I think we got our big plot twist with the governor's daughter's a walker.
Oh yeah, we did that. That was crazy in that episode. How he was like stroking her hair, and a piece of her scalp almost came off.
That shit was nasty. I had to tell my girl about what you told me last week.
Oh yeah, he was in the comic book. For those that don't know, the governor's molest his walker daughter, which is like some sick fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be interesting. How many more? Because I know we have like 3 more episodes of Boardwalk Empire left. I don't know how many we have left of Walking Dead. It can't be that.
It's pretty much the same. It's probably two or three episodes only. 3 the max.
Yeah. So then, shit. The only thing we have to look forward to then is because Sons of Anarchy. I watched Sons of Anarchy. I know you're trying to catch up.
Yeah, I can catch up on that.
Then I think in January Justified starts. So I'm gonna be talking about that because I fucking love that shit.
Spartacus starts pretty soon too. In January.
I didn't even watch the last season, man. That shit got tired of me. After my man OG Andy passed away, God rest his soul, the show just wasn't the same.
This upcoming season is the last season. For those that don't know, you can mute me now, but all of them get murked. So yeah, they all die. That's how it ends.
Do you watch Justified?
No, I haven't seen it.
You gotta get up, man. Raylan Givens is the man. You like his character. He's really, he don't give a fuck. But more TV stuff will be out there for you guys, so don't you fret. So moving into our last couple of stories for the show, our homeboy Danny, he's doing some good ass numbers. We talked about this in a Lost episode we keep talking about, but we announced probably like a month ago, that The Weeknd was releasing his Trilogy remastered, and this shit is a masterpiece, man.
It's pretty much perfect. All the Trilogy is the re-release of his 3 mixtapes / free albums, which is House of Balloons, Thursdays, and Echo of Silence, and then each one has a track added to it. One's called 28, the other one's called Valerie, and the last one just really slips my mind, but it's remastered.
It's The Dawn, I think, or Here Comes the Dawn. I didn't like that one at all, really.
Yes, I don't even remember it. But yeah, the whole thing has a crisper sound. There's little vocals added here and there. It sounds refreshing and new. And yeah, it launched this past Tuesday, and I'm already hearing he's going to do 80,000 in first week, which again, for him, with really no top 40 single, there's no top 40 tracks, really I've never heard a Weeknd track on the radio, to be honest.
One of the singles started playing it down here. They've been playing Wicked Games on the radio down here.
Yeah, look at that. For him to do 80,000, that's pretty big, and it's good to see him making money off of this, because I know he's made money touring, and I remember reading an article where he's asking for I believe it was $25,000 a show he was asking for, and he's been pretty heavy out on the scene. So
I would imagine that it's worth it. I haven't seen him. I want to see him in show there in concert because I think I was telling you this pretty much like for the most part between you and I, he's pretty much one of our top 3 to 5 favorite artists right now.
yeah,
And I mean, I guess before we wrap up the story, you were talking about the music was remastered. It was cleaned up. It had some stuff added. So you want to just talk about a couple of tracks that you and I are always talking about it. I think House of Balloons that really just rounded out the whole thing because the original House of Balloons was pretty much perfect to me.
yep,
But like they just added like a little bit to it, like especially on Coming Down, like the gap between the party and the after party, which is one of my favorite songs from him.
mm,
That lead, that little gap in between to Coming Down was just perfect to me. Like that shit was just. I had that shit and I was listening to it with my Beats headphones at the house before work, and I was just like, oh shit! Like
the
it really
whole
made me like happy, man. That shit was dope.
I'm saying that whole fucking from pretty much I can play the whole album just straight through, but like you guys really again if you've heard it before and you know what we're talking about, you start from just even from high for this
Yes,
from
just
high
start
for
from the
this
beginning.
what you need like you could the sound it's amazing. Some people have said and then they've changed. I've read people who have changed their mind. They're like, oh, but the griminess of House of Balloons, that's what made it so
Nah,
epic. But then that again, keep in mind because I have my Google Music. I have the original ones. I have the fucking chop and screwed ones. Now I have the remastered ones or whatever. Like this really does it. It doesn't take nothing away.
nope.
At
It
some points
adds.
it adds. At some points it sounds like an almost new album. But again, high for this. What you need. Uh, fucking just all wicked games, just all of them. That's on House of Balloons. On Thursday, then Thursday sounds like a brand new album. My personal favorite. It started to be House of Balloons, but now I kind of switched over to Echoes of
Thursday.
Silence.
Oh, for real?
To
I thought you were gonna say Thursday.
Echoes of Silence, man. I can listen to fucking that Dirty Diana, Montreal, fucking
I love that song anyway, Montreal.
the fall next, the other Echoes of Silence. That thing is just it's amazing. And if really guys, if you have not go out. It's only $11. Like you're getting
It's
fucking
well worth it.
three CDs of banging ass fucking music for 11, $12 on Amazon with fucking free shipping. Pretty much, it's really really well worth it because considering he put out this music for free in 1 year.
Yeah, for me, like just to touch on Thursday since we kind of skipped over it, like it still has that dark sound to it, but it's just cleaned up at the same time. Like Lonely Star, the way that it comes in with the drum track and everything, you know, I don't care for Heaven or Las Vegas or things like that, but when you go from the Birds Part 1 to the Birds Part 2, the Birds Part 2 is already an epic ass song. Like Part 1 sets it up for Part 2 where he's just like fucking just singing everything out. It just set everything up, you know what I mean? So I think it really benefited after a couple of listens, and Thursday really had to grow on me to begin with. But it's great. And then the 2 songs that I like, out of the 3 that he added, 28 is a really good ass song. But Valerie is some really heartfelt ass shit. That could be a single in itself.
Valerie's fucking. But you know what I am mad at is that the fucking the track Enemy. It's become one of my personal favorites. It's not on there, and I think that should have replaced that Dawn track or
Yeah.
whatever. That Dawn track. But fucking Valerie's epic. I mean, just all around, man. Just all around. The music this guy makes is incredible. And really listen to this guy's lyrics. Just don't listen to the hooks,
Yes, yes.
cause he has some epic hooks. But listen to the fucking lyrics. This guy be spitting people, man. I'm telling you.
It'll make you feel some type of way. If you don't like, I know he talks a lot about popping pills and things like that. I'm a sober dude. The only thing I do is drink.
Mm,
But from his stuff that he talks about from relationships and feeling a certain way about women and things like that, it really puts you in a dominant and in a lesser position. And everybody out there, every man has felt that particular way at that particular time about someone. So you can relate to it if you really, unless you're one of them dudes who's like, nah, fuck them hoes, da 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 da. But even then, Initiation is the perfect song for you. So you really don't have nothing to say. So go out and get this shit, like Danny said. Just go get it. Shut up and get it.
mm-hmm.
And to wrap up everything, our second to last topic, Netflix recommendations. You want to go first?
I have a pretty good one. It's a movie called Headhunters. It's a Norwegian movie.
Man, I was gonna watch that last night.
It's actually pretty good. The pace is slightly slow at the beginning, but like halfway through it gets pretty fucking crazy. The premise of it is there's a guy. He's a rich dude. He works at basically what they call him over here like a temp agency, but it's a little bit more than a fucking than a temp agency. So the guy's like the VP or something. But on his spare time, what he does is he steals expensive paintings and he flips them. The way he's able to do that is he has a guy who he found a job at, I guess, the main security company. Because every place they break into, the guy's able to shut down the security system. His guy's able to shut down the security system. So he goes in. Anyways, this other guy, which is the dude from, I forgot what the name of that show was on HBO. But fucking anyways, so this other guy shows up on the scene, and his wife is able to find out that this guy's grandma has like one of the most expensive paintings in the world just sitting in her basement, which is the apartment where he's living at now. And the guy breaks into the apartment, steals the painting, and that's when all hell breaks fucking loose. All hell breaks loose. I'm not gonna talk more about it because like once really watch it, and once all hell breaks loose, that's when shit gets interesting. That's when shit. Because again, it's Norwegian. It's English subtitles on it. It has a good pace to it. There's a sex scene. The bras and the thing. But his wife is a good looking. She's like a 6'4" blonde. Real good looking chick. Tons of guns. There's a little bit of comedy, and there's one scene where the guy has to hide in a latrine, so he's covered head to toe in shit. But that's my Netflix recommendation week. That's a solid 4 stars. Headhunters.
I was gonna watch that shit last night. No bullshit. I was gonna ask you if you had watched it before I watched it.
Yeah, I seen that. I got the recommendation from the dudes at the Kali. Some had said it was whack. Some had said it was good. That's it. I enjoyed the pace of it.
I'm gonna have to check it out. My Netflix. Damn, I can't even talk. My Netflix recommendation. I was telling you about it, Danny. So I'm gonna recommend it to everybody else. Is White Collar. This show is fucking good, man.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, it's a USA show. It's about a alleged, like he always likes to say, art thief, forger, con man, Neil Caffrey. He gets caught by this FBI agent, and he's got to do 4 years in the joint, and like 2 or 3 months to go in his sentence, he escapes to chase after his girl because he feels like she's gonna leave the country or whatever. So he chases her to find her, and the FBI agent catches him again after he finds out that she already had dipped out. So basically, he strikes a deal with this FBI agent to help him catch this art thief. And it's for those of you guys that know anything about art and artifacts and things like that, is that a lot of these things are priceless. Like, you really can't put a monetary value on these things. So with his expertise, he helps this FBI agent, Peter Berg. He helps him as his confidential informant or whatever. He helps him out, and in return, he's basically on house arrest. He's got a little anklet on, and he can't go more than a 2-mile radius. And the show is just great. The writing is really, really good. There's a lot of fuckery going on, and you learn a little bit of shit about art and history too, like all at the same time. Like I said, the writing is pretty much top notch from what I would expect from a USA show. There's good action. And you can really start to, one of the things I look for in a TV show is how you feel about the characters. And you really start to get a feel for Peter, Neil, Peter's wife, who's played by Tiffany Thiessen, which is
yep.
Kelly from Saved by the Bell. There's a black dude that doesn't get killed. Thank you, TV gods, for that. And another chick, I can't think of her name in real life, but she's pretty good on the show too. So they're all a little different personality-wise, and a lot of the show is dealing with Peter and Neil's relationship. They go from basically being co-workers and they don't trust each other to being really good friends. And then you also have Neil's friend Mozzie, who's like a con man extraordinaire, who's actually Neil's mentor when he got to the city. It takes place in New York City. I think there's 3 seasons on Netflix. I got to dig to go find the 4th season, and it got renewed for another season too. So I got to go check that shit out. But it's a really, really good show. And Neil Cafferty's swag is on like 100,000 trillion at all times. My man got the tailored suits and everything.
It's a good show. I've seen it before. I've seen the show. It's really good. Like you said, the best thing about it, like, it is really good acting on that fucking. I was expecting, I hadn't heard of it, so this is gonna be some second rate shit. But the acting is good. The storylines are always real interesting.
Yeah, with all the art, there's a storyline. I don't want to get too far into it, but there's a storyline about this hidden Nazi treasure that they have raided from the Russians. They put it on a U-boat and nobody can find it. They don't know if it's real or not. Somebody steals it. The FBI is trying to find it, and that whole plot line for that story. There's always a backstory that runs the whole way through the season that really gives that season a sense of urgency. There's always like a main villain, quote unquote, but then they have their day-to-day cases that they do. So it's really, really good. Most crime shows are about homicides and, child abuse and rape and things like that. So with the white collar crimes like insurance fraud and art theft and stuff like that, it's a really nice breath of fresh air from your normal crime drama. So white collar is my Netflix recommendation for the week. So with that, we're going to go ahead and try and wrap this up. Danny, do you have any shout outs, man?
Shout out to everybody who's been listening. Bear with us. We've been out for a couple of weeks. We are on a roll there. 14 episodes, pretty much back to back. We had a little hiatus, but I think this episode's been top notch. Keep up with us on Twitter. We're always updating our Twitter at the GeekSet Radio with the latest tech news all the time. And just a shout out to everybody, man. Everybody on Twitter, everybody at the Kali, everybody on Podmatic that's been listening. Keep showing us love.
Yeah, I just want to echo that. We had a lot of setbacks past couple of weeks. Danny and I, no homo, don't like to do the show without each other. It fucks up the chemistry. Pause again. But we like to keep a good product out for y'all. We don't want to throw y'all no special guests replacing one or the other. So that's just me, how me and Danny do things. We're going to come up with some more guests. We got a lot of people want to come on the show, talk about a lot of stuff. We just haven't had a time. We want to make sure we get a good show to let you guys know that we're back in the loop and everything like that. But so far as for me, for shout outs, again, shout out to everybody that's listening. The holidays are coming. Follow us on Twitter. Maybe we're going to do a holiday giveaway for you guys. So we're going to keep you guys posted on that as soon as we figure out what we want to do for you guys. Shout out to my man Lukey, Lukey Boxing. Check us out. That's the other podcast that I do. We're going to do some really, really big things. If you're a big fan of boxing, if you're a fan of MMA, please check me and Lukey out. A lot of fuckery on that show. A lot of fuckery going on. Shout out to UFC. Hopefully, anybody from UFC, hand me those media credentials for UFC 155, so I can go report it. Shout out to thecolony.com, as always. BK to God, Brooklyn Sun. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys have been a big help personally to me and Danny, getting everything off the ground, and everybody that listens. So with that, for Danny, I'm Judd. This is GeekSet Radio. We're going to be back to you guys. Fuck the weather. Fuck all these technical difficulties that we have. We're going to be back. We're going to be bringing y'all that new piff. So for now, we out.